الورد ورش الرز طلع علينا جيش العز ورش الورد ورش الرز طلع علينا جيش العز هذا الجيش العربي السوري جبل وشامخ ما بينهز رش الورد ورش الرز طلع علينا جيش العز هذا الجيش العربي السوري جبل وشامخ ما بينهز
On the 43rd anniversary of the Correction Movement, great achievements and strong determination to continue. And the Syrian Arab Army landslide victories against armed terrorist groups continue in several areas. Three years after NATO democracy, the chaos of weapons and terrorism controls Libya. Good afternoon, this is news in English from the Syrian Arab television in Damascus. 43 years ago, the Correctionist movement was launched to correct the track and achieve a qualitative progress in Syria's modern history. More in the following.
The factories, hospitals, schools, universities, and great national projects were carried out to meet the requirements of a modern state and ensure security and stability to the citizens and the homeland. Since the very beginning of the Correction movement, Syria advocated the culture of resistance of Israeli occupation. The Correction movement changed Syria into a main state in the region, which participated in all solutions of the problems and challenges facing the Arab region. Syria has an influential role in making history in the region, but the powers of hegemony seek to reverse Syria's achievements through recruiting mercenaries and threatening an aggression against it by the US and its tools in the region. But the Syrian people are determined to foil the conspiracy and protect their country.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has discussed in a phone call with Egyptian interim President Adli Mansour the situation in Syria and the outcome of the talks held by Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Minister of Defense Sergei Shoigu with their Egyptian counterparts on the 30th and 40th of this month in Cairo. Press and Information Office at the Kremlin said in a statement that Putin and Mansour voiced appreciation of the outcome of the talks held, expressing mutual keenness on expanding bilateral cooperation between the two countries. Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki has asserted that Iraq would not allow that the region be turned into a den for terrorists, criminals and murderers, as has been witnessed in Iraq and as it is being witnessed in Syria right now. Al-Maliki reiterated that Iraq was keen on contributing to the stability of the region, the welfare of its people and the stand in face of those armies that aim to invade Syria or Iraq. In Damascus, 2 mortar shells were fired by terrorists on the area surrounding the French hospital at al-Qassa area, causing the death of a woman. The terrorist attacks caused material damage to houses and a number of cars. Terrorists also fired mortar shells on al-Abbasiyin area, causing material damage to the place, but with no casualties. The General Command of the Syrian Army and Armed Forces issued a statement affirming that after a successful military operation and accurate tactical maneuvers, units of the Syrian Armed Forces managed to tighten control over the towns of Al-Hadath, Hawarin and Mahin and the warehouses nearby to the southeast of Homs city. In Homs eastern countryside, units of the armed forces seized 3 trucks loaded with weapons and ammunition in the vicinity of Al-Hir al-Gharbi palace. A lot of explosive devices of different sizes were also seized in the trucks. In Talkalakh countryside, units of the Syrian Arab Army, in cooperation with the border guards and the locals, have foiled an attempt by the terrorists who were trying to infiltrate from Lebanon via Adlin and Al-Ghaida areas, killing or wounding most of the attackers. In Harth al-Turkman, in Al-Husn town, and in Tel Daw, Kafarlaha, Al-Hula, Al-Khalidiyya, Al-Dar al-Kabira and Al-Ghanto villages, units of the Syrian Armed Forces eliminated terrorist groups. A Tunisian terrorist nicknamed Abu Saif was identified among the dead. Moreover, units of armed forces have discovered a vehicle loaded with tons of explosives during continuous inspection campaigns. Members of engineering units have dismantled and neutralized the explosives. Other units have eliminated terrorist groups in qualitative operations carried out against terrorists gathering and dens in Al-Qusur, Al-Warsha, Bab Houd and Jurd al-Shayyah. In Homs countryside, a Syrian Arab Army unit raided a terrorist hideout in Wadi al-Mawla in Talkalakh, eliminating a number of them and arresting others and also seizing their weapons and ammunition. Finally, in Hijra, the armed forces seized a factory used by terrorists to manufacture explosive devices, hand grenades and mortar shells in the area between Hijra and Al-Hajar al-Aswad. Huge amounts of chemical materials used in making TNT, in addition to explosive devices, grenades and mortar launchers, were also found in the factory, which is one of the main hideouts for providing Takfiri terrorists with these weapons. Moving to Dar'a, where a military source has asserted that units of the Syrian Armed Forces have targeted a gathering of terrorists in Ataman in Dar'a countryside and eliminated the leader of the so-called battalion of Mujahideen, nicknamed Al-Jahid, Lu'ay and Muhammad al-Mutlaq, Firas Subhi and Fahd al-Khalid, in addition to destroying a 23mm cannon and 2 vehicles loaded with ammunition near the communication building and the vicinity of Al-Bina al-Zahri in Ataman. Moving to Al-Hasaka province, where units of the Syrian Arab Army have restored peace and stability in Al-Bajira, Kharma, Sharma, Jarmaz, Al-Rakabiya, Al-Marza in Qamishli countryside. In Aleppo, a number of citizens were injured due to a terrorist attack with 5 mortar shells. The shells launched by terrorists towards Bustan al-Qasr fell over the municipality building, causing the injury of the citizens in the place and material damages to the buildings nearby. In Aleppo countryside, the army fully controlled the town of Tal Hasil and its surrounding, after a series of operations in which dozens of terrorists were killed or injured and their weapons and ammunition were destroyed. The Syrian Arab Army has also opened the road linking the villages of Tal Shghaib and Tal Aram in Aleppo. Pakistani police have announced that at least 7 people were killed and more than 30 wounded in confrontations in Rawalpindi, close to the capital Islamabad. It is to be noted that about 400 Pakistanis were killed in sporadic attacks carried out by extremist groups. After 3 years of the NATO's democracy and the so-called Arab Spring, Libya is witnessing a state of chaos of arms and insecurity, raising the death toll among the demonstrators who took to the streets of the capital Tripoli in protest of the illegal practices to 37, in addition to other 450 wounded. Security sources have indicated that Misrata-linked militias have moved to Tripoli with dozens of vehicles and that Qasr bin Ghashir area was witnessing fierce confrontations. Minister of Information Omran al-Zabi has inaugurated today the Club of the Youth Correspondents in Damascus.
The club compromises volunteers who wish to follow up the latest events witnessed in Damascus politically or militarily. Mr. Zabi pointed out to the importance of this step as it provides training for the youth journalists and attracts them to prepare a well-trained cadres who would furnish the Syrian national cadres working in media domain with new ideas. It is to be noted that the club will upload its activities on the various social websites and on the YouTube. It will also launch a new satellite channel with the aim to complete the other media outlets and present reality and truth.
With this, we come to the end of our news for today. For more information about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can visit our website in English, www.syriaonline.sy. Stay with us, the latest in the world of market and finance in our economic news, but after the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The Director General of the Silas Company asserted that the company has supplied the mills with sufficient quantities of wheat, which are prepared to be grinded. The Director also added that there is a qualified technician cadre to store 2 million tons of wheat, as the company developed plans to fix the affected silos due to the terrorist attacks, specifically in Adra, Sbeine, Al-Bab and Deir el-Zor, in addition to 2 silos in Al-Hasakeh Governorate. The director of the General Company of Latakia Port asserted that the company prepares to launch the project of Silas Tower Port, which is the most important project in the port. The director pointed out that the projects of rehabilitating the infrastructures in the Latakia Port Company had the priority out of the investment plan to develop the production and the navigational activity, in addition to improving the indicators of the revenues and income. The Director General of the Sugar Company asserted that the General Establishment of Sugar has received about 1,500 tons of raw sugar per day. The Director indicated that the establishment signed a contract to supply the Sugar Company in Homs with 27,000 tons of raw sugar for processing them and providing the consumption establishment's outlets with 27 tons of sugar per day. On the other hand, the total production of raw sugar reached about 12 tons, as the company's production of yeast since the beginning of the year reached about 6,000 tons. The Jewelers Assembly set the price of the 21-carat gold at 5,800 Syrian pounds per gram, as declining 100 Syrian pounds since Thursday, while the Rashadi golden coin was set at 43,000 Syrian pounds and the English coin was set at 48,000 Syrian pounds. The US dollar extended a weekly decline as measures of industrial production and regional manufacturing dropped, adding to bets the Federal Reserve will not stop its monthly asset purchases anytime soon. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our economic news for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.